Jonathan, thank you for attending today. It must have been boring, right? You didn't know anyone around.
What are you talking about at your father's funeral? I don't care if I'm bored.
Even I, the chief mourner, was bored. I had to talk with relatives I didn't even know. My mother was smoking outside all the time.
Is it normal to go to the smoking area during her husband's funeral? You too, like mother like daughter.
Well, we are family, it's natural. Anyway, it's tough. Losing a parent is not easy.
Even at times like this, you're so casual. But I felt a bit relieved that you're acting as usual. I thought you might be completely devastated.
It's been 2 years since he was diagnosed with terminal illness. We were prepared. I think we fulfilled everything my father wanted to do. There's no point in feeling sad. Your father was a person who would rather make people laugh than make them sad.
Jenny, you're strong after all. But it's nice to have such a down-to-earth relationship with your family.
We're family, it's natural to be ourselves, right? Let's go home now that it's finally over. I'm tired.
Oh, is it okay now? Don't we need to greet the others?
I've already done that, it's okay. I'll go home with my mother. I've informed the funeral parlor staff. Could you bring the car around?
Okay, I got it. Wait a moment.
Oh, and earlier, you were talking with Sarah, right? She's my best friend, were you trying to pick her up?
What? No, I wasn't. She dropped her handkerchief. I just picked it up and gave it back to her.
Well, it seems true. Sarah said she was going to check if my boyfriend was a good guy. She purposely dropped the handkerchief.
What?
Sarah is super beautiful, right? So, there are many guys who try to hit on her. It seems you weren't like that, I'm relieved.
What's that? That's not something you do at a funeral.
I guess you have a point. I'll talk to her about it. Anyway, please bring the car around.
Hey, should we really go ahead with this? My father is a bit of a curmudgeon. Taking your mother to meet him might be a bit.
Why? I want my mother to come with us. That's the right thing to do. We're getting married, so our parents have to meet.
That's true, but maybe we should reschedule.
You said that before, and that's why we scheduled it for today, right? I don't think you intend to reschedule. Come on, let's go.
Well, there's something I want to tell you beforehand. Whatever my father says, it's not my opinion. My thinking and my father's are completely different. I just want you to understand that. And, when I'm with my father, I'm not the usual me. Just keep that in mind.
What? Am I about to be told something terrible?
No, I mean, well, I don't think you won't say anything, but my father can be quite harsh, but I don't think he'd say anything to my fiancée.
Stop mumbling and let's go. I don't want to go either, so let's get it over with quickly.
Ah, okay. Got it.
You lot! Don't ever cross my threshold again!
Wait, what's going on all of a sudden? Not content with splashing tea, you even hit my mother.
Hit? I just gave her a light slap. If you think that's hitting, you must have had a pretty lenient upbringing, huh?
It looked very much like hitting to me. And for you, raising your hand to a stranger on first meeting. You must have had quite a sophisticated education.
It's not about sophistication. I come from an elite family. People like you at the bottom wouldn't understand.
I would want to understand. Bragging about being an elite is the most pointless thing, I think.
Pointless, huh? Sounds like the barking of a loser. I'm a winner who runs multiple companies and lives in a fine mansion. Don't be jealous just because you can't catch up.
Why did you hit my mother?
Because you bottom dwellers crossed my threshold. You lot. It was your plan to deceive Jonathan and get close to me, wasn't it?
Huh.
You fraudulent family. You won't get your hands on my money. I'll have to re-educate Jonathan from scratch to think he fell for a woman like this. I told him so many times not to get close to the bottom dwellers because it affects the survival of our lineage.
I see. No wonder Jonathan didn't want us to visit.
Your mother being raised in an orphanage, it's disgustingly unclean. Don't ever cross my threshold again. And of course, I won't approve of the marriage.
Unclean? What do you mean?
Children without parents are somehow off. And you, being born from such a person, are no different. No one wants to become family with such people.
Go ahead and keep talking nonsense. I've had enough of listening to you.
Oh, what's with that tone? I'm older than you and socially superior in many ways.
I don't have any respect to offer you.
What? How dare a fraudster act so high and mighty? You hid the fact that your mother was raised in an orphanage and intended to marry my son. Shut up. I won't let my son be with bottom dwellers like you.
Is that so? Well, then that's fine.
Fraudulent family, huh?
Hey, Jenny. I'm really sorry. I had no idea it would get so bad. Also, I wasn't reliable at all. I'm really sorry.
Well, I understand that you've been suffering under that father of yours for so long, so it's fine. But I wish you had told me how dangerous your father is.
He despises people with low education or those who were raised in orphanage. That's why I was worried, but still.
Because your mother were raised in an orphanage, my father won't like you. It's hard to say that, isn't it? It's not your fault, Jonathan.
No, it's pathetic of me. I always have to go against my father. I should be protecting my mother, but she's always enduring my father's behavior alone.
If you had told me earlier that your father was trash, it would have been better.
But I've made up my mind now, using this as an opportunity. I'll cut ties with my father. I refuse to be the son of such a person.
Yes, I want you to do that. I'm going to crush that man from now on. I can't just let him insult my mother. I'll crush him. Then let's get married.
That's right. I understand. But don't go too far. He's still my family, after all.
Too far? There's no such thing as too far when you're going to crush someone. I get it. That would be disadvantageous for me. Don't worry, I won't do anything that would be considered a crime.
I hope that's the case.
Hey, what the hell do you want? Suddenly coming to my company. Outsiders should leave.
Suddenly? I'm just a visitor. I'm not causing a ruckus or threatening the receptionist. I just have something I want to give to the employees of this company.
Something to give. What is it? I have nothing to receive. I'm going to call the police.
You can call them, but before that, I want you to watch this.
Wait a minute. Did you record that?
When I told you I was going to make a marriage proposal, Jonathan was really worried. So, just in case, I recorded it with a small camera. It also clearly recorded you knocking my mother down. If you're going to report it, I might as well let the police hear this, right?
I never hit anyone. I just brushed her off with my hand. But this recording could cause misunderstanding, so don't call the police.
I see, you won't admit it. Well, it would be boring if I just left it to the police, so let's not report it.
Wait, stop making my employees watch to this. It will cause unnecessary misunderstandings. Besides, we're in the middle of a critical project. If you cause a commotion, you're threatening the livelihood of my employees. Are you okay with that?
If you were really concerned about your employees, you'd step down after committing a crime. Are you just using your employees as a shield to protect yourself?
And no, that's not my intention.
Anyway, I feel sorry for them working under a boss like you. So, I've decided to expose everything. You don't have any objections, right?
But if you corner me, it will harm my family too. Not only Jonathan, even my innocent wife could end up on the streets.
Don't worry. Jonathan and your wife are planning to cut ties with you.
What?
They're planning to move out of the family home. From now on, Jonathan, your wife, and I will live there. Oh, not your wife, my mother-in-law.
Wait a minute, that house is mine. What gives you the right to kick me out?
Remember Sarah?
Sarah. Who is that?
The girl you hit on at the party the other day. She said she was grossed out because you kept inviting her. She told me that you have a villa on a southern island.
You mean you recorded that too?
A married man with a social position hitting on a young girl at a party. You're too reckless. Actually, I just sent her to observe you. But I didn't expect you to provide the material. It was a great harvest.
Wait, that was just a joke in the heat of the moment. Besides, my wife should know. I sometimes make lighthearted comments, but they're all jokes. The truth is that I love my wife more than anything.
That's just a man's wishful thinking. Your frivolous behavior has always hurt your wife. You think that even if you act frivolously, your wife will follow you silently. That's just an illusion. Women are living too. Don't you get it? Jonathan feels the same way. He's always been disgusted with a father like you. He couldn't stand up to you before, but from now on, he'll become independent. And he'll do his best to show filial piety to his mother.
What? That traitor! After all I've done for him!
A man who is not respected by his wife or his son. Do you think you have the right to insult my precious mother? Yes, my mother may not have a good education and grew up without parental love. But that's why she understood everything a child wants from a parent. And that's why she became the best mother. I'm different from someone like you who looks down on others by flaunting their family pedigree.
Maybe. There were problems with my actions. I'm truly sorry. I'll reflect on my actions, so
Oh, you're going to reflect? Then let's report this to the police. If you want to reflect, the police is the best place. I'll call them right away. For the crime of hitting my mother. Jonathan is a witness, so you can't escape this.
And no, wait! That's not what I meant by reflecting!
You're saying you want to reflect, but don't want to pay for your crime? That's contradictory. You should accept your punishment quietly.
Why you? How dare you?
Oh, what's with that language? You're about to lose your house, family, and job and be taken care of by the police, you lowlife. If you're a lowlife, act like one. Could you show me some respect? Afterwards, he surrendered to the police with me and my mother. His misdeeds were revealed through the recorded video, and he was ordered to pay compensation and medical expenses to my mother, as well as fines. Furthermore, following this incident, accusations were raised by employees from several companies he managed. Inappropriate comments and illegal transactions were exposed one after another. It became a nationwide news, and not only was he expelled from the industry, he ended up facing lawsuits from multiple companies and individuals, and fell into a situation where he could hardly lead a daily life. At one point, he was stubborn about not giving up the house. But maybe he thought he couldn't stay in town any longer. He disappeared as if fleeing, leaving all his belongings. Now we don't know where he is or what he's doing. Rumor has it that he fled overseas and is trying to make a comeback. But a person like that won't get anywhere. As for me, I'm living in Jonathan's family home with my mother and my mother-in-law. My mother and Jonathan's mother hit it off, and they're living happily like best friends. When I see her relaxed expression, I think about how she was oppressed by that man for a long time. Speaking of Sarah, the unsung hero, she often comes to our house to hang out and often stays for several nights. Our days are noisy, but we're living happily.